Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Uh, I'm on a bit late, but I had a long football class and swam and pretty tired. And I got a 9 o'clock football class, so bear with me. Looking for things to talk about. Let's check the gold price. Gold price is 25.05 as of 6:20. A little drop at 10 o'clock from 25.03 to 24.9. So drop $10. Um, a lot of small derivatives today. Silver 28.34. So we all know this is just pure Madoff. This is make believe, fantasy, not the real prices, the paper prices. That's what I keep trying to point out. These prices aren't real. Um, that's why you buy as much as you can now. So I bought a quarter ounce last week. Um, 722. When I thought about it, I could have bought 2/10 of an ounces probably for 600. So I think I made a mistake there. I don't know how many tenth of an ounces. It might have been almost three. Well, the 280, 560, 667. It would have been 840, but I didn't want three. But that would have given me more than the quarter ounce. Anyway, I prefer I have enough tenth of an ounces. I prefer more quarters and ounces. Um, anyway, so I showed you Andy Scheckman's thing about 1099s, and as long as it's like less than 25 or 33 ounces, there's no tax, there's no 1099. And on silver, it's like 1,000 ounces. So just be prudent. Cash in 25 ounces of silver, cash in 15, 20 ounces of gold, and you're fine. Anyway, I just had an omelet and I'm still hungry. I hate that when I'm still hungry after eating the omelet. I got nothing left. Fabulous day in football, but we'll stay away from that. That's for my football class. Let's see. What do we got in? Why don't we check our eBay? That's always fun. I've been so focused on football that it sometimes keeps me away of from this. What's going on? Oh, all right. So I have a cap on my thing that says that this is the most amount I'll pay on my rental property. Um, and I'm like $1. I think my water bill went up, so I'm like $1 short. So I got to take care of that, which I will do that right now after this. So what do we know? Let's talk economics. Let's talk Adam Smith. So we have China collapsing. Oh, it's going. No, we're going to go look at eBay, and then we'll talk about China collapsing. So I've been thinking about this as far as what's going to happen with the money. And basically, let's see. So let's review medium of exchange. Medium of exchange says I go to work and you got to give me something to get paid, right? It could be apples and oranges, but we do this because we can then turn around and use this and go with that. Hey, Pat. Well, hopefully Silver's about to launch. Are you reading something that I'm not seeing? I mean, that's great. It's way, way overdue to be $500 an ounce. So because this is portable, so these are the functions of money, right? It's got to be portable. Well, an apple really isn't. Scarce, so it's supposed to be limited. This is not scarce anymore. Divisible, so I could have $1, a 5, a 10, a 20. Fungible, it's easily replaced with another dollar. Acceptance is everybody will take it. I go to the grocery store, I go to the food place, I pay rent with it. It's accepted. And durable. Yeah, I mean, you can't, I mean, you could burn it, but generally it's not going to wear out. And gold has all those functions. But so the idea is this is what's used to as the money. You get paid in this, and then you pay your bills with it. So you only need one thing. They used to do cows, they used to do tulips, they used to do gold and silver, like in the Roman time. So we determined this. Now the key to this, so the market works perfectly, right? You just don't fuck up this. You don't fuck up the medium of exchange. You don't fuck up where now you've not kept this scarce. It's so overprinted, it has no value. So everybody's going, oh my God, everything's going to crash. No, it won't crash. It's perfect, except for you have to replace this. So it's like getting a flat tire and you go, oh, the car's in trouble. No, just get a new tire. So I need to get this. I need to replace this because you've printed it too much. And you printed it too much. And you printed the yen and the won and the ruble too much. So you've overprinted those. They're not scarce anymore. So what do? Well, we need something that they'll have to replace it. They'll probably come out with the US dollar too. And they'll go exchange your money for the new currency. Maybe. I don't know if it would be the same value. It should be a little bit more valuable. So you're going to go do that. So your pay probably won't change. You'll get it. Your bills hopefully should go down a little bit. But if it's not backed by gold, they're not scarce. They're still bullshitting you. They're still monopoly money. That's why you use a gold-backed currency, because it keeps it scarce, because you can't print the gold. These idiots keep saying counterparty risk. What does that mean? That's bank talk. It means I don't understand. And so what it is you can't print the gold and silver, so it won't lose its value, because these lose their value because you overprint it. I'm watching Money Heist, the first one, and they're in the bank printing and printing and printing. And that's the whole point. If it's gold-backed currency, they couldn't do it. Well, then they stole the gold in the second one. So the system works as far as you getting paid and using what you get paid to buy things. That system's fine. You just fucked up the currency. That's what we need to adjust, is that we need a new currency, but we can't just have USD2 and hope it works. It won't work. What we need is backed by gold, because you can't fuck with the value, and we can't trust the people running it. This is the problem with the government. They're in a football team, the owner hires a GM and he hires a coach. Somebody who knows how to be a GM and somebody knows how to coach. But in government, you're hiring a president Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know what day it is. Kamala Harris, she don't know what day it is. I'm not sure Donald Trump knows what day it is. So you're electing people based on popularity, not based on do they know how to do the job. And then the treasury people and all, the different groups should know what they're doing, and they don't. Whoever's allowing this to be printed to death doesn't know what they're doing. They shouldn't have the job. Just like a football coach, and I bet the guy should be fired because he doesn't know what he's doing. And you clearly have that. So we must have gold back. Now the BRICS countries figured it out. They're launching their gold back October 22nd, and you'll see this gold price will be nowhere near 25.05. Add a zero to it. They'll probably roll it out at 7,500, 10,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. Then hopefully we get to a physical market. I think COMEX is on its last leg. I think it's ready to blow up, especially the gold, because the U.S. can't keep firing their derivatives. They don't have any gold to fire, and China keeps taking delivery because they're saying, well, I'll pay $3,000 an ounce for gold, but you're keeping the price down with these derivatives to 2,500. I'll keep buying it because I'm willing to pay 3,000 an ounce. So 2,500 is a bargain, and I feel the same way. The more I can buy, the better it is. And that's what's happening. So all you need to do is replace the medium of exchange with toilet paper and go to a real dollar backed by gold. Then the system's fine. You go to work, you get paid, you take it, you buy. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's what needs to happen. So that is how a market works and how a dollar works. So when people are asking me, well, what happens if I don't have gold and silver? And I kind of say, well, you're kind of fucked, because if you're just holding $20,000, they're worthless. They're not worth anything. You won't be able to go to the store and get food. Now, I don't think this is going to happen right away, even though BRICS goes and the gold goes. I think those of us with gold will just make a ton in dollars. And those who are not in gold really won't see the difference, except for the gold will be more expensive for them. Much like a mantle card's more expensive for them. I mean, that's all that really happens. So they'll be okay until these stores start marking things in gold and silver, or a new gold backed currency or something. If they keep it, is Kroger's going to keep tuna at $5? That's really the question. If it is, you'll be okay in dollars. They won't be where they won't be worth anything is if you travel to Europe. So when Luke goes to Barcelona and I go to Barcelona, although I think I'm going to Italy, the dollar won't be worth much. So normally I book on bookings, I book the hotel and I book the air. So that's all set. And then it's just a matter of, I am able to use my credit card to pay for meals and taxis and stuff like that. So I think we'll be okay going soon. But eventually, are they going to keep taking the US dollar? Or you'll need the new dollar, or you'll need the BRICS currency, or something, that's where it'll change. In America, Kroger's, what'll happen is the foods they get from the US will be fine, because that'll be priced in US dollars. It's the food you get from China or Russia or Ukraine or these other countries, when it gets converted to dollars, it'll be $20. $20 will buy you a can of Coke if it's purchased from a foreign company outside the US. That's where you're going to get screwed. That's why you need gold, to then you can convert the gold to the new money, and you won't notice anything. So my 1 ounce of silver, right, will still buy. It's $30. Well, it goes to whatever, and then this can buy a gold backed BRICS, whatever it is, it'll keep the price. But that's what everybody's problem is. If you stay in dollars, you'll be okay for a while, but everything will cost more. Much like Venezuela when the shelves are empty, or Zimbabwe or Germany when they had the wheelbarrow full of money, you know. Well, in that currency, so they kind of make it draw the effect. In that currency, yes, it does suck. But if you have, like in Zimbabwe, but if you have US dollars, you're okay. It's only if you have Zimbabwe dollars. But they don't tell you that. Well, they kind of do say, well, the US dollars is not true. Why are they using the US dollar in Zimbabwe? And then they wonder why they keep going broke. But the US dollar has basically collapsed. It's kind of hidden. People don't see it because everything's still in US dollars, right? When BRICS announces and goes to a gold backed currency, and you try to go to a BRICS country, go to Dubai, go to Saudi Arabia, whatever, it cost you $1,000 to get a hot dog. That's like now with Daria and giving her money in Russia. I give her $100 and the exchange rate's 92. So she gets 9,200 rubles for the $100. But the 9,200 rubles doesn't buy much because all their goods come from other countries, not from Russia. So they're more expensive. However, when they go gold back, all the prices will drop, and then then I won't be able to help her in dollars because it'll be $100. I'll buy her 1 ruble, one gold back BRICS currency, or however they're going to do it. So that's the problem is they've printed the dollar to zero. They can blame whoever they want. I'm not buying it. They owe they've ruined the dollar, and the only way you can ruin it is by printing it. And don't tell me inflation's printing the dollar, not prices. And don't tell me that you can. I'll raise interest rates that'll get rid of the inflation. How? You still printed the dollar. The printing hasn't stopped. You're raising interest rates to make things. You raise interest rates to make things more expensive, so you spend less, and then in their theory, the prices drop because the items won't move. So if you have, it's like now if you have Frosted Flakes and they're $5 a box, nobody's buying them. So you always see them on sale because nobody's going to spend $5 for a box of Frosted Flakes. So that's what they're trying to do with interest rates. They raise the rates, makes things more expensive, and then the people selling them have to reduce their price. Like Toyota. I bought the Camry for 24, now it's 35. They can't sell any. Now they're down to 30 or 28. They'll start seeing some activity. So this is what inflation is. They're printing the money too much and it makes it worthless, which is exactly very common sense. Just like my football card. A 50 count Mahomes card has much more of a value than a 1,000 count Mahomes card, right? Well, why? Because there's only 50 versus the 1,000. Or if it's just a regular card, there's a million of them. You don't have enough buyers to buy them all, so the price falls. That's the problem. So, with that said, that is your problem. Now, gold and silver being held down totally by Madoff, totally bullshit, scamming, totally illegal, to try to give you the illusion that the dollar has a value and stay with the dollar. And we're going, when the fuck's gold and silver going up? So here's Pat, silver about to launch. When? When they are not buying from COMEX anymore. Saudi Arabia and India are buying silver for the solar panels for this ESG bullshit. And so they need a lot of silver. You can't get it at COMEX because COMEX is really the pricing mechanism. The idea of COMEX was to set the price for gold and silver and orange juice and coffee and everything else. And they do it with bullshit derivatives. How they determine what price they want is impossible. And so that's what they do. And so the price of gold they want low, but it only works until there's competition, and there is in BRICS. So when China and Russia and India and Saudi Arabia want gold, they're buying it at these cheap prices. And guess who wins? Those with the gold make the rules. And that's why BRICS will take over. And the US is shaking like a leaf because they know they're fucked. Now, they don't know enough not to print it to death, but somehow they know they're fucked when BRICS comes out October 22nd with gold backed currency. And so, really, they're not very few, I think, are buying out of COMEX. So, when I look at this COMEX price, I know it's not the real price. It's the COMEX price, but that's a price fix, what the government wants, but that's not what the market says. So, the government might want this Mahomes card to sell for $10, but the market says no, it's $1,000 card. The market will win, right? Nobody's going to sell it for $10, so nobody's going to buy it for 10 because it won't be there to sell. So the market is eBay free market, and whatever the buyer and the sellers agree on is what the price is. But with gold, they're not doing that. I mean, like I said, if I went and bought 10 tons and Pat bought 10 tons of gold, wouldn't move the price of nickel. That's why when I heard, I think it was Mark McGuire's guy do it, or no, it might have been alligators, and he said, "Oh, if we all buy an ounce," and I just laughed. I said, "If we all buy an ounce, it ain't going to move the price of nickel because that's not how the price is not free market." It's amazing how many people don't understand the price is not free market. The price is a paper price set by JP Morgan to keep the dollar attractive. And yet all these idiots don't understand the paper price versus the physical price. And you're like, oh my God, what is going on here? How do you not understand that? And you call yourself, what, you're on eBay calling yourself what, an analyst, a stock guy, a gold guy? Give me a break. So you have very few people that actually understand. The COMEX is simply there to set a price the government wants it at, which will keep it low, so you'll stay in the dollar. And it kind of works because what happens is why would I invest in gold that doesn't move? So the big Ponzi scheme of is happening is, do you buy gold? No, because it doesn't move. So you go into stocks or real estate trusts or some sort of annuity, and you're not trying to protect your money. You think you are. You think you're in a low risk thing, and oh, I'm in an annuity. I get 9%. Yeah, but the money's not worth it. The money's going to zero, and you're getting 9% of zero. But that's what you don't understand about gold. Gold can't lose because they can't print it. And because of the competition, it's going to go up, as will silver, because of what BRICS is. BRICS wants gold. They want a gold-backed currency because they see every country's fucked with this fiat. Let's print to nothing. So that's really the problem. So I don't see that the system's broke. It's the medium of exchange is what's broke. It's supposed to be scarce, and it isn't. And this is what's clueless. Now on the other side of this, I was showing you a video, but I got blocked on it, so I can't show you this video. But it was basically, in a nutshell, the drug trafficking in Amsterdam and those areas is like $1 billion a year, and they deal in cash. So have no worries that cash is going anywhere, because who runs everything? We know, the mafia, and therefore the mafia is not going to take a credit card or whatever this CBDC crap is, and they're not going to take. Yeah, I'll pay for the drugs with CBDC. Yeah, here's $1 million CBDC. I mean, that'll never happen. They're going to keep using cash. So what they're not telling you, it's going to be like Bitcoin. CBDCs are just going to be another option. Gold and silver, baseball cards, Picassos, CBDCs, Bitcoin, gold and silver. And that's all it is. You're not gonna lose the dollar per se. You're just simply gonna have another option. Yeah, Bitcoin. Do you own Bitcoin? No, I don't own Bitcoin. I never will. It's worthless. So here comes CBDCs. You're gonna own CBDCs? No, I'm never gonna own CBDCs. The only way is if my Social Security is gonna come in on CBDC, and that's the only way. Okay, well then I'll have to sign up for it. But then I'll move it into my bank as soon as I can. Um, so yeah, I got my Social Security today. Um, so all is good in the world. It pays rent and everything. So that's all I'm trying to do. It's not like I don't have money, but I don't want to sell my gold. I was talking to my lifeguard friend about it. Says, I don't know what to do. I want to buy more gold, but I need money to pay bills. And I says, well, you leave enough money out so you don't have to cash in your gold. And that's what I've done. I've got money in the safe and then I got my gold. So right now I don't have to cash in my gold for um, money. So this way I don't have to sell it at 2,500 when I'm going to sell it at 20,000. Right. So I'm waiting for the 20,000 if I need to sell it at all versus selling it at 2,500, which I don't want to do. So we will, so that we know that's what's happening. So I'm trying to just get by enough to keep my cash. On the other hand, I had this thought of, maybe I should just cash out and turn it into gold. And then when I need money, sell an ounce. I just don't want to get caught with money in the safe that's worthless, right? When this goes to zero, I don't want to have too much money, a couple thousand, but I don't want to have a lot of money in this, and I don't have a lot of money. So that's what I'm saying. It goes to zero, but I think we'll have time to switch it to the new currency and then buy gold with it. Then that's what I think will happen. But if gold goes up, then I'm not worried about it. So that's really my ace in the hole is the gold and silver. Most people are just fucking clueless. I hear these financial planners, these retirement planners, and they just don't. Well, you'll be in a stock that gives a 5% dividend, and that's how you have money. Dude, the money's gone. It's not going to be worth anything. Do you think the stocks are going to survive? They're not going to give you a dividend. They won't be Coca-Cola will be selling at $5 a share. And they probably won't be giving the dividend stream so people can retire. People are all going to go bankrupt because they're going to lose every penny they have, not only in the stocks, but the fact that it won't be worth anything. Great financial planners we have here. And they just keep going on like nothing's there. Oh yeah, no, come and we'll look at your plan. We won't tell you about gold because gold's not on the menu. And that's the shame part of it, is they're so clueless. And I just think they're clueless. And they're trying to get the commission on the stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. They're not really there to protect you. They're there as their living to sell to make commission on you. That's the game, not to help you, not to tell you to buy gold. See, somebody called me. I says, well, no, I'm going to tell everybody to buy gold. Well, maybe we shouldn't hire you. No, you shouldn't hire me because I'm not going to see these people lose their ass. I have honor. I'm not about to watch my friends or anybody being stocks. The house is burning down, and it's like, give me a break. Get out of the house, right? I'm saying get out of the house. I'm saying the boat's sinking, get in a lifeboat, and you're telling them to stay in the boat. Hard to watch that shit. All right, so let's see. Quarter ounce, 667 for the Philharmonic. Seems awfully cheap. I paid $7.22. See, the item's out of stock, so it's a bullshit ad. I should take this off our. I'm going to take it off our watch list because it's not real. Here's a Peyton Manning I found. I think it's a 25 count. I'm not sure. It doesn't say. It's just an autograph ticket. Um, Here's a 1/10, 286 Maple Leaf. Here's a Cougaran at 677. This is probably out of stock too. That's still going. It's cheap. 676. They haven't adjusted their auction. Here you go. 705. That's more like it for the quarter ounce. Our mantle card, 72,000. Notice this doesn't muck around. This stays 72 grand. Mahomes, 500,000 for a really limited rookie card. Our Rolex Sky Dweller, 820,000. I love this. 820,000 for a watch. That only goes up. This is a new watch. So the used one would be worth $1 million. And then I got a half ounce here at 1374. Seems about right. Let's see. Here's another Rolex 527. Free shipping though, pre-owned. So this is used. So the Daytona must sell for like 450, but you got to wait a year to get a new one. This is probably the only thing you prefer, a used one. Well, you prefer a new one, but you got to wait a year. So you can get it now at this price, which is used one, and it's more than the new one. It's really crazy. All right. Maple Leaf 2589, Eagle 2656. It all is 1 ounce. Here's the 10th of an ounce Cougaran 280 and a quarter ounce 750. I paid 722. Quarter ounce Maple Leaf 700. The Jordan rookie still 499. PSA 10. See now, okay, so what happens to that card? It's going to change. It's priced in gold, or it's priced in dollars, 499, and all the shit hits the fan. Okay, but you've got the Jordan rookie. Will it keep value? It goes to zero in this because this doesn't have value anymore. So anything in this just has no value, goes to zero. Then you've got, well, maybe people with gold will buy it. And then it's an ounce of gold, it's 2 ounces of gold. It's the same as a $500,000 house. What can I get for it? But if you think about it, that's what happens now when people sell their gold, they need dollars. So they take an asset worth something and they're able to get dollars for it. So you have this asset and you'll be able to get gold for it. Now, the price of the gold needs to be determined by the market. I guess would be two ounces of gold would buy that Jordan. Not now, but the Jordan's priced in dollars, so the Jordan price comes down, but the gold price goes up, so it kind of levels off. So 2 ounces of gold probably be worth about 500,000, and that's what the Jordan card turns into zero in dollars, and that's what happens. Hey, Greg and John. So that's really what you have to understand is the dollar's going out and you're naked because you don't have gold or silver. So like the girl who gave me the massage, she's like, well, what happens to everybody? I says, you got to buy gold and silver. The dollar's not worth anything. It's monopoly money. And she started to panic, like, well, I don't have any gold or silver. And I go, well, you've got a while, but October 22nd comes, it's going to be a lot more expensive. And you have to find a way to get at least silver's $30 an ounce. You have to buy 10, 20 ounces of that. You have to find $300. If you don't, you're in much bigger trouble than you think. So she was a little bit scared, but she understood. And I explained it in such a good way. So This is what most people are going to run into. Now, the question is, at what point does everybody realize the dollar is worthless? Like, I don't know when it happened in Rome. It took a while as they took the gold and silver out of the currency. It took a little bit till their market collapsed. And then one of their rulers was in Turkey and had a gold backed system, and that lasted a few hundred more years. So the US can save itself if they come out with a gold backed system. That's the only way. These MMT Keynesian guys who say you can just keep printing and it won't have a problem. Out of there, where did you hear that from? Are you in the loony bin? I mean, what are you talking about? So those are the people that, well, I can eat a piece of chocolate cake every day. Yeah, it won't have a problem. I'll be fine with it. So if I have chocolate cake every day, a whole pie, I won't gain a pound. And you'd look at them like, well, you nuts? You'd be dead in a month. So that's the point with, with the currency. Why are they collapsing it? Are they all this stupid? Which could be because Clinton hired a bunch of idiots. He didn't hire anybody smart. He hired dumb people, and they're doing dumb things. And so just keep your eye on that. But what you want to do is move out of this paper before it's worthless. It's worthless pretty much, but as long as it still has value where you can go buy your food and go buy your gold and silver, keep buying it. And really, that's the key to it. So do that, and you'll be protected. So what you're doing is you're switching from dollars to gold and silver because the dollars have no value and gold and silver will never lose their value, and it will go up because as the dollars go out in Britain and in euro and the yen and the dollar, as they all go out, everybody only has one boat to go into is the gold boat, and the demand will force the price up. So now you're going to make money. Not only are you saving yourself from the dollar going to zero, you're then making money on it. So that's what I'm trying to explain. But as far as the free market, the medium of exchange, go to work, get paid, use that money to pay your bill, that's a great system. That system, keep the government out of it. That system works fine. Let the free market determine what products I should sell based on who wants it, and then come up with a price based on me wanting to buy something, but no, that's too expensive, and that isn't. Beijing, Shanghai are done. 1 million eateries and hotel closes. So
the new Acer Swift series laptop, nice aluminum finish, and they didn't.
Nobody
I
cares.
remember back then getting a hey T.
Do
you know why business is so hard these days? Just look at this, a huge mall, prime floors, a brand name clothing store with thousands of square feet, and I've only seen 2 people inside, both of them staff. Right now, I'm at Beijing Longde Plaza. At its peak, it's ranked 7th in annual revenue among malls in Beijing. I used to be a regular at the restaurants here. Today, when I came back, I noticed that more than half the restaurants have changed. See that boarded up section over there? It used to be Zhenge Hot Pot, a well-known chain. Back in the day, you absolutely had to wait in line during meal times. And it wasn't just this place. Every restaurant I remember had long waits. But now they've all closed down. What's more, there's no new tenant advertised on that board, which means the space is still vacant. In the past...
Okay, so what's happening in English is you've killed the free market there. You don't have buyers. If you don't have buyers, you can't sell. So they have these malls and there's all these stores and it's empty because you don't have buyers. So you got to close because what you're selling, there's no demand for. So I don't know what happened that there was. I know the economy is collapsing in China. I know a lot of the rich Americans and Japanese have left for whatever reason. I think because of spying or something. And so basically you have this, you're doing it in reverse. What you want to do is sell, I want to sell silver because it's in demand. I can't, it's got, people got to want it for me to sell it. I can't try to sell it and nobody wants it. Right. So if you follow that logic, I have a store and I got no customers. Well, what do? Well, there's nothing you can do. You can't stay in business because you can't sell and you got to cover your costs. Again, in business, my costs, I got to make 20%. So if my costs are $1,000, I got to make $1,200, right? 20%. So what they're doing there is their costs, there's no business, there's no money coming in, they can't cover their costs. So they're losing money anymore. What are you waiting for customers? There's no customers coming. Close up. That's how, you've got to find where the customers are and what the customers want. Then you go into business. And then can I cover my costs? That's what business is. Very simple. And the market determines the prices. That's why you have competition. If this guy's selling it too high and this guy, tennis rackets, one guy's 500 and Luke's 300, I'm going to buy from Luke. And Luke sees that the market will pay 300. There, Luke makes the money. That's the beauty of competition. Free market. We let the people who want tennis rackets buy them. But if nobody wants tennis rackets, Luke has to fold up tent because there's nobody to buy them. And so in China, there looks like there's nobody there. All these, a million eateries and hotels close because there's no customers. Why are there no customers? Well, because communism, and it's a lot of what happened with Evergrande. What Evergrande did is they bankrupted all the banks and they laid off all the employees. And so it's a domino effect. So you don't need building material. So all the builders went bankrupt and the painters and the carpenters lost their jobs. The banks got hurt. And so basically everything that was tied to Evergrande and the building of houses and apartments there all went down with it. That's basically what happened. Now, why did Evergrande go bankrupt? Because they were corrupt. They blew their money on other things. Instead of taking the money to build a house, they took the money and did something else, which was a stupid investment. And then when they needed the money, the banks, they didn't have it. They go bankrupt. There goes China. So that's how it's done. That's how you fuck up a country. So it's really, it's allowing Evergrande, but where's the competition? And then people trusting Evergrande because they're morons. And so a lot of people lost all their money having it in Evergrande, having it, I'm going to buy this apartment. They give him the money and then the guy doesn't build. Why would you give him the money? I had a house built. Yes, I did live in a house and we paid them and we'd go there and we'd see the basements in and the walls in and this is in and that's in. And they're tiling and they're painting and the electricity works. And so we're seeing it all work, right? But we didn't give them the full amount. We gave a third. And, we would have been screwed if he just took our money and left. We would have lost, 30, 40 grand, whatever. That's the risk you take. But that's not what he did. He did complete the house, pass inspections. So we bought the house. But we went in the house, because in China, they didn't even build the house. They built the high rise. There's nothing in it. So people didn't have a place to live. So they paid for a house, didn't get the house. We're too stupid to go into the house. They let me see what's going on here. And Evergrande fucks everybody. And everybody loses all their money. So now they can't go shopping. And therefore, the economy collapses because then nobody can sell anything because nobody's got money to do it. And now there's mass unemployment because of Evergrande. So this is the problem with China. Evergrande killed it. And here we don't have that problem. We had a corrupt government that steals the money and makes it worthless, but we don't have a housing problem. There will be no big sales of houses because it's too expensive. It's priced over market. And then you have people buying the houses as investments instead of buying gold and silver or stocks. They want to buy a house. Really bad idea, as our friend in Canada is finding out. But that's the way the economy works. So Beijing and Shanghai are done. So a lot of China has collapsed because they need to build things to get people working, so people will then have money. So it's Say's law. If I go to work, I make money, I go spend it. But if the economy's bad and I can't go to work, I can't collect the money and then spend it. This is the problem, right? This is how China's fucked. Nobody's going to work to get the money to then go spend it. So people over here are waiting for the people to come and spend. They don't have anything to spend. So people aren't spending. They're living on the streets. They can't eat. They're all in big trouble. And, and they won't, but they can't, but the businesses can't work if nobody buys their goods. So they lay off and you got vast chaos. Now, is this China going to war? That's bullshit. And China has 65,000 tons of gold. And even if they put it in, there's no businesses that are working to Say's law, everybody, to pay people to work for them so they can start spending. That's really what they need to do, to get somebody opening up stores that people are working at, and then they sell the product and people buy the product. And the U.S. is sanctioning them. So we're not buying China stuff like we're not buying Russia stuff, hurts them. The fact China's buying from Russia helps. So the BRICS will come in right in time to help them as China goes out. Let's look at Egon. Fossil fuels. You'll like this
idea that we're going to be able to replace natural gas and coal and oil and gas. That's a pipe dream. That's going to take us to the road to ruin. Windmills and solar panels are going to take us down to poverty. Is that right?
Absolutely. 85% of the energy that we're getting today is all fossil fuel based. And who the hell believes that we can just get rid of that, close pipelines, close nuclear plants, close coal mines, and then no energy? The remaining 15%, we can't live on that. And whatever the very long-term goals are, they're not going to be fulfilled now. Politicians have managed to absolutely shut down the world from an energy point of view, and it's energy that drives the world. We can't produce anything without energy.
If you own a home in Michigan, this video is for you. Here's what a patio enclosure.
The global economic landscape.
So, and Egon's right, is like they want to get rid of fossil fuels. But again, this is how these idiots in government work. Why? Oh, because of the emissions. We're all going to die. Well, we're all going to die because of if you don't have electricity and heat and gas and oil, we're all going to die anyway. You can't drive your car with solar power or windmills. You can't be productive. So he's right on. And that's a big problem, is trying to, how these people got elected. It's George Soros. That's George Soros, though. George Soros is smiling because he's winning this fight. And if you notice, they never mention George Soros. They're all afraid of him, I guess. And nobody says, hey, we got to fix this. They all point to the problem, but nobody has a solution. I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. And the solution's easy. Just, you gotta get rid of George Soros, and then get rid of all this bullshit, and then use the fossil fuels that have been highly productive, the oil, the gas, the electricity, the power plants. Why would you get rid of them? Yeah, we're replacing a power. It's like replacing a real car with a matchbox car. Well, it won't burn any fossil fuels. You won't need oil for it. So let's all drive in our Matchbox cars, but they're not real. That's about what you got there. Next one, Japan just ditched all U.S. imports.
Is highly interconnected, with countries relying on each other for goods, services, and markets. In this context, the relationship between Japan and the United States has been particularly significant. For decades, the two nations have maintained a robust trade partnership, with Japan importing a wide range of products from the U.S., including agricultural goods, technology, and industrial equipment. However, recent developments have seen Japan drastically reduce its reliance on U.S. imports, a move that could have far-reaching consequences for the American economy.
All right, so what does that mean in English? Japan is a customer. They buy our goods and services. So we can make things, and they're our say's law. They're our buyers. So we are making, producing, whatever. I don't know, whatever, just pick something. And, tennis rackets, and Japan's buying them. So we have a customer. It's exactly the same as China's problem, right? There's no customers, so the stores have to close up. Well, if Japan isn't going to buy from us, we're going to have a lot of lost sales. You think the stock market's going to go up with that, with those news? So you're going to lose. You're losing buyers who aren't going to buy from you. So even though there's Amazon, nobody's going to buy from the U.S. Amazon might be okay if it's Japan to Japan or something, but otherwise it's not. And that's really the problem. It's you take away customers and you're fucked. How are you going to run your business with no customers? And we just see what's going through China's problem. So that's in a nutshell. If Japan is going to not buy from us, we lose all these customers of people who buy from us. Either you replace them or you go out of business. There is no other alternative. You can't make things that you can't sell. You got to be able to sell it. So we sell to Japan. We sell probably to India or these other countries, Korea maybe, and they're all like, sorry. I mean, we see this happening. So if Japan's ditching our imports, we've lost a big customer. That's a problem. China nail in the coffin of U.S. dollars. Let's look at this.
This AI trade finder will handpick you options trades every morning on autopilot. Hi, but
China has opened a new front in its economic rivalry with the United States, this time targeting the U.S. dollar. Chinese banks have reportedly placed significant bets against the American currency, aiming for its devaluation. According to estimates, these financial institutions have funneled more than $100 billion into short positions on the dollar, anticipating a decline that would lead to substantial profits. The mechanics.
So they're betting that the value of the dollar goes down. And my point is, it's at zero now, so it's the bullshit value, but basically the dollar has no value. So it's a good bet if there is some sort of value that the dollar is going to zero. So that's what they mean by a derivative. And the shorting means they have sold it and they want to buy it at a cheaper price. So they're hoping the price drops.
Behind China's currency strategy, particularly its use of foreign exchange swaps, involve a form of financial shorting on the U.S. dollar. This approach has allowed Chinese banks to profit from the dollar's fluctuations. Here's how it works. Chinese banks exchange yuan for U.S. dollars in these swaps, essentially locking in an exchange rate. If the dollar depreciates by the time the deal concludes, the American counterpart owes more yuan, which benefits the Chinese bank. This strategy.
So it's the same as gold. They are selling gold at, for 3,000, hoping it goes down to 2,950. Notice how I use 3,000. And then they're hoping it goes to 2,950. They hope it goes down, and then they're going to buy it. That's all they're doing. They're doing an Eddie Murphy here with this with these derivatives. They're selling it, hoping it goes down, and then they buy it at that price. That's all they're doing here. They're doing it with the dollar because they know the dollar is gone. All the de-dollarization. I mean, obviously the value has to go down because, as we know, if there's no demand for the product is worth zero. And there ain't much demand for the dollar. It isn't worth anything. Again, the Fed has to buy the treasuries, all the T-bills, because nobody else will. So again, it's like me selling. Okay, I'm going to sell them a Mahomes card, and I'll buy it because nobody will. And I'll look. It's worth $1,000. That's what I paid for it. Yeah, but I sold it, so it's not worth anything.
Has led to significant activity in the foreign exchange market, with estimates indicating that Chinese state-run banks have built up more than $100 billion in short positions against the dollar. This trend intensified in 2023 and 2024 as banks executed these swaps to stabilize the yuan without draining China's foreign reserves. This shorting has become part of a broader effort to bolster the yuan, which has faced intense pressure due to factors like the Federal Reserve's hawkish stance and a slowdown in China's economy. These swaps have allowed Chinese banks to profit from market movements, even yielding nearly risk-free returns of around 6% for traders on the other side of these deals during certain periods. In addition to currency swaps, Chinese banks have been preparing to dump dollars and purchase yuan as part of ongoing interventions to prevent further yuan depreciation, which has been exacerbated by the global economic environment. Despite these efforts, the yuan saw its worst annual performance against the dollar in decades. The driving force behind these high-stakes bets is China's central bank. Faced with a weakening yuan, Beijing is seeking to stabilize its currency through these financial maneuvers. When banks swap yuan for dollars, the yuan becomes scarcer in the market, which can increase its value. This defensive strategy aims to protect the yuan as it can.
Okay, that's bullshit. The yuan does not get value because the dollar does this or the dollar does that. You've printed it to death. That's why it's not worth anything. Don't tell me because the dollar's down, the yuan is now worth more. No. Again, they're playing games. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You print 1 trillion of these, it doesn't matter. They're worthless. When you print 150 trillion, they're worthless 150 trillion times. What happens with the yuan and the yen and the ruble and the dollar is meaningless to the value of their dollars. That's a bullshit. That sounds like a COMEX thing. So don't listen to that. That's fantasy. You print, you kill the value. You eat 10 chocolate cakes, you gain weight. The fact that you had a piece of celery doesn't mean, now I'm going to lose weight if I'm still eating the 10 chocolate cakes. The only way it works is to stop eating the chocolate cakes and eat veggies. Then you'll be okay. The dollar's been printed to zero. Your only out is to come out with a new dollar or gold. Now, China's got 65,000 tons of gold. All they have to do is swap the gold in to gold-backed currency, and they'll be fine. So we will see what they do. So I don't want to listen to this anymore. They're going to finish the U.S. dollar. No, we finished it. See, that's a bullshit video. The reason the U.S. kills its own dollar by printing. That's it. In other words, so I eat 10 chocolate cakes, I gain weight. So what they're saying is, well, if you don't eat the chocolate cake, let's say you eat 20 chocolate cakes, that makes me healthier. So wait a minute. So if you eat more than me, you're sicker than I am, so I'm healthier. No, I still ate 10 chocolate cakes. I'm not any healthier. What you do doesn't matter to what my diet is. And that's the bottom line. So it's got nothing to do. One has nothing to do with the other, and they're trying to fuck everybody up. That's not what's going on. You've got Saudi Arabia just signed a $100 billion deal with China. Okay, again, it doesn't really affect the U.S. It's money going to China instead of the U.S. So it's a customer not buying our goods, buying China's goods. So it helps China, it hurts the US. Again, I don't see it in the Chinese economy. Well, everybody's not working. So let's see what this $100 billion is going to buy.
When I first started buying real estate, the median price for houses in this city was $50,000.
We don't give a fuck.
Saudi Arabia
Get
has
off my
recently
channel.
signed a monumental $100 billion deal with China, a move that has sent shockwaves through the global political and economic landscape, particularly in the United States. This agreement marks a significant shift in the balance of power in the Middle East and reflects the rapidly evolving dynamics of international relations. It underscores the growing economic and political partnership between Saudi Arabia and China, and signals a potential realignment in global alliances, challenging the traditional dominance of the United States in the region. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. For decades, Saudi Arabia has been a cornerstone of American foreign policy in the Middle East. The two nations have shared a strong relationship built on mutual interests, particularly in the fields of energy, defense, and regional stability. The U.S. has long considered Saudi Arabia a key ally, especially in terms of its influence over the global oil market and its role in countering regional adversaries like Iran. However, the $100 billion deal between Saudi Arabia and China suggests a significant shift away from Washington and toward Beijing. This development has raised questions about the future of Saudi-U.S. relations and the broader geopolitical implications of Riyadh's deepening ties with Beijing. At the heart of this deal is a comprehensive strategic partnership that spans multiple sectors, including energy, infrastructure, technology, and defense. The agreement is not just about trade.
So they're going to buy those things. So they're going to buy them from China instead of the U.S. That takes money out of our pocket into China. So China, this looks like, will then have to hire people to make these things. So that will help their economy if now they need people in IT and technology and what was it, fuel or whatever the four things were. They'll need to build them and they'll need people, and that's how their economy will grow. So you need something to employ people so they start spending money on hot dogs and hamburgers, and then you need people to sell those, and they got to hire people, and it's a domino effect. Trust me, it's what makes time travel possible. This is the best thing we could see, is this torture chambers and €1 billion profits. That will guarantee us never getting off of money. And even though the CBDC will be there, we will be fine in money or gold or silver, just like we are today with Bitcoin. You can say CBDC and they'll come out with the CBDC. I don't know. I don't care. I don't think they will here because the banks aren't going to get fucked over. But the mafia certainly cannot, they can only deal in money. Now, it can be gold-backed money. The mafia would be fine with that. And they probably have a lot of gold, if I would understand the mafia being a lot smarter than the governments. But because they need money to sell their drugs, they must have money. They can never get away from money, no matter what. So all this will always be here, always. So if you're in any money industry, don't have a worry. You're going to still be dealing with money, which is what we prefer anyway. You go to the casino. Oh, wait, let me take my CBDC card. Oh, wait, CBDC won't let me play poker in the casino. Yeah, that's going to go over really far. The mafia running the casino is not going to be happy. So that's the best news. So don't worry about CBDCs. Even if they come, it'll be like Bitcoin. You don't need it. You probably need it for government stuff. They might blackmail you into taking, oh, you want unemployment, you got to use it. You got Social Security, you got to use it. But otherwise, how are they going to pay you? You can only get paid by going to work. You go to work, you get paid. Then you spend the money in the stores. And stores don't care. You usually use credit cards. It's electric money. It's not digital. Somebody thinks it's digital. No, it's electric, you idiots. The credit card and debit cards are electric money. Instead of pulling a 20 out of your pocket, you're using the card for the $20 purchase. Okay. One more, Egon. Can't get enough of
Actual
this.
standard of living in the world peaked around 2000 and is only gone up artificially because of higher debts and financial markets going up. So that we have seen now a fake increase in standard of living that cannot be sustained, and no money printing is going to make a difference to that. So we are now going to see a massive decline in the standard of living. Standard of living is actually very much based on energy, and this absolute nonsense about the climate crowd, etc., makes no sense whatsoever. 85% of the world's energy comes from fossil fuels, and don't believe that we can replace that with wind turbines or solar cells, etc., in the short term. We might, and hopefully we can in the next 50, 75 years.
Why
but it's not
hopefully?
going to happen overnight. So when you close down nuclear energy, coal mines, then you can understand that the world is in for a disaster.
Robinhood Gold
What does he mean? Hopefully in 100 years. I mean, you can't do it now. You can't do it then. You might need something else, but it's not going to be windmills and solar panels. So again, understand the key concept here. You want to run a business. You opened up a gold store. You know, if there's no customers, you're fucked. You can't stay in business. You can only stay in business if you have customers that will pay more than you bought them for. So if you buy good silver for 25, you got to sell them for 30. As long as the customer will pay 30, you're fine. That's the way it works. And you got to be able to buy it for 25. And if it costs you 50, you got to be able to sell it for 55. And these guys aren't smart enough. They're scared to spend a lot thinking it's going to come down. They don't understand it's not going to come down. It's going. But that's the way it is. So if you're selling baseball cards or coffee mugs or T-shirts, you've got to have customers to be in business. And that's the key to it. And that's when you do sanctions, what you're saying to Russia is we're not going to be your customer anymore. Now you got to go find a customer. And then Germany stopped buying the gas and the natural gas from Russia to heat their homes. And you said, well, we're not going to buy from you. And then they bought it from the U.S., who charged them 10 times the amount, and it's bankrupting Europe because they can't afford their bills. Nice of the U.S. to screw everybody in Europe. But that's the thing. But Russia's sitting there going, well, we don't have any customers. And then here comes China. Oh, yeah, we'll buy your natural gas and oil from you. And so China did. So anyway, there won't be this World War III. There won't be, China's not going to war. They're broke, basically. Well, they're broke except for the gold, but I don't think they want to sell their gold, spend their gold on war. Britain did, and look what happened to them. So the key is having a market. Toyota shot themselves in the foot by raising their Toyotas to 35,000. When I bought mine for 24, the market is not 35,000. They will not be able to sell any. They must lower their prices or go out of business. The barbecue guy with the ribs, he's okay at $28, $29 per slab of ribs. He goes to 40, 45, he'll be out of business because nobody's going to pay that much. We don't need ribs. We like ribs. They taste good, but we don't need them. So you can't charge 44. Do we need a Camry? Well, we need a car, but we don't need a Camry. We're willing to spend $25,000. That's what I spent, $24,000 on the Camry. You know, just because I hate spending money on a depreciable asset, meaning the value is going down as you wear and tear it. The more I drive the car, the less it's worth. So I don't want to spend 80 grand on a Mercedes. 25 on a Camry is fine. And that's the object. So you've got to find what the market will bear. But you need a market to do it. And that's where the electric cars don't even have a market to do it. They're all going broke. Ford's having problems, GM's having problems, Tesla's having problems. I looked at today's, I was at the gym riding my bike, and they had the ticker going. And I took a look at it, and I saw that Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan were like $400 a share. And I'm like, They're about to go out. They don't. All the loans they have are bad loans. They're going to get killed. That's where their revenue comes from, these loans. So when I loan out for a mortgage or commercial real estate for the Empire State Building, I'm loaning them the money and they got to pay me back. Well, if they're not paying me back, I'm fucked. I can't, what am I supposed to do? And that's really the whole point of it. So they will be, they'll be in big trouble. And their stocks are $480. It sounds like the government pushing their stocks up also. Again, the stock market is it's so wrong. It's I saw it at 40,000 today or something, and I just shook my head like this is maybe a $5,000 stock market. It's a recession. People aren't working. People therefore can't spend. If I can't go to work and make my money and then go spend it on Luke's tennis rackets and food and clothes, if I'm not getting the money, I can't spend the money. And that's where retirement comes in. Retirement says, well, I'm going to have money left aside, so I'm not going to work anymore. I'm going to retire. And so I'm taking my nest egg here, and I'm going to use that to go to the store and buy clothes and buy food. But it better not be in dollars. And this is where everybody's stuck. They're all in this. This is their nest egg, like Luke's friend. And it's worthless. They don't know what they got. Hey, Luke. Oh, not much. Just a late class. I got a football class at 9:00 with the guy in LA. And so I'm just wanted to get this in. Pat's getting anxious. He's coming into my football class going, when are you gonna do economics? And I didn't do it yesterday because I was watching football. What happened to Russell Wilson? He's got a calf injury. Fields looked really good. They got 6 field goals and no touchdowns against freaking Atlanta. Wow. Oh, good for you, Luke. Good. I bought a 1/4 ounce the other day. I paid $7.22 for an Eagle, which I thought was high. I didn't really think. Had I known, I would have probably bought 2/10 of an ounces for $2.80 versus the 1/4 ounce for $7.22, because that's a big difference. And I would have lost 0.5 of an ounce, but I would have made up for it with that price. But I just wanted to get a 1/4 ounce, and I was so excited to get it that I just took it. Fields look good. What are you on? Skanes looks good. Clemente looks good. Willie Stargell looks good. Fields don't look good. Well, Watt, yeah, he's the best defensive player in the league, and Pickens, but Fields does not look good. Looking good would have been throwing for 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions, not running for 50 yards, and having to settle for 6 field goals is not looking good. Hate to break it to you. I don't know, but hopefully Russell Wilson's ready to go, and let's get a real quarterback out there. Well, they played Atlanta and Kirk Cousins. You want to give the credit, it's to the Pittsburgh defense. Joe Green, Lambert, Ham, Mel Blount, Mike Wagner. That's give the credit to. They won the game. It's like when Bradshaw started. He couldn't do shit, and the defense would score 14 points and win the games 14-0. And that's what you have now. The defense won the game with the turnovers, and Fields did nothing with it, and then they got 6 field goals out of it. And Atlanta, Kirk Cousins is terrible. Nice to see speed back there. Boswell looked good. I don't know. I can't stand that. Yeah, isn't it the stupidest thing, the new kickoff? I don't really get it. On one hand, you want the safety of the players, so you don't want them running from the 35 all the way to the other 35. On the other hand, they run pass patterns all day, and everybody's running all around the field anyway. So what are you talking about? And then the kickoff is so stupid. They get the ball to 30. What is that? Why don't you give them the ball midfield if they kick it through the end zone? I mean, what are these guys thinking? And then on the Hippocratic part is, then they want you to play on Thursday. Now, I assume you play tennis and golf. Trying to play football and having a game on Sunday and then saying go play on Thursday, and you're worried about the health of the players. You're out of your fucking minds. The players are spent. They're not ready to play a Thursday game. If you're worried about the health of the players, but you're not. You're worried about the money you can get from having Thursday night games. They should at least give them the bye on Sunday to play Thursday. They do that in college where if the team plays like the back plays Tuesday and Wednesday at the end of the year, they don't play Saturday. Oh, play Saturday and play Tuesday. They don't do that. I can't stand it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Boswell's the kicker. Yeah, he won you the game, or but I see. Here's my whole objectivity of the quarterbacks. I will never bet on Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones or half these quarterbacks. Fields, they suck. So therefore, there's no way I could bet Cousins. I wanted to bet the game under. Had I known Russell Wilson wasn't playing, which apparently he had a calf problem and wasn't going to play, I would have bet the under in the game. And it was way under. The over-under was like 40 something, and they scored 30 points. And I might do that with Pitt this week, who do they play? Pittsburgh plays Denver. So there's going to be low scoring game. Denver won't score much. Pitt can't score unless now if it's Russell Wilson. I would think Russell Wilson would want to play in this game because they screwed him over big time last year. So we'll see if he sits this one out. But again, you just bet Pitt. This is what I term an under team. They have a great defense and no quarterback. And I play them under, like Michigan. Michigan was my lock with Texas under. And it won easily. And that's what you got, a great defense. So the other teams aren't going to score. But you can't score. You don't have an offense. I do it with Iowa and Iowa State all the time. I don't understand the kickoff, what they're trying to accomplish. It's stupid. So why do you make the change? Like these pitch clocks and the batting clocks in baseball. What are you trying to accomplish? You're trying to speed up the game. Why? What's wrong with the game? Just because there's no good players in it. And all of a sudden a Scanes comes in and a Chris Sale and a Verlander. Okay, you got 10 good players in the league. The rest are minor leaguers. Why are you trying to speed up the game? There's no reason to. If it's a good game, are you trying to speed up a Scanes against Chris Sale or against Verlander? No, you'd want that game to go 3 hours. But when you got two pigs pitching, you want to get it over, I guess. So anyway, there's some BRICS meeting in St. Petersburg. It's September, so it's got to come soon. We're at the 9th. And I should ask Daria if she can go check it out. She's getting much better at texting me. I'm on the bus. I'm headed home. Good night. I love you. I'm at least not losing her for a week. And I don't think she understood that. And she probably texts me when she needs something. So now she's doing that every day. So I feel, but now I'm not worried at all. Now we're just waiting to meet, and God knows when that's going to be. But she's right. I can't come to Russia. My credit cards would not work there, I don't believe. So I couldn't book a hotel if I wanted to. How would I eat there? How would I cab there? Even if I took American money, even if I took this crap, I couldn't use it there. They don't take it. I mean, maybe the banks would exchange it for me so I could get rubles. I guess that would be the only way, but I couldn't book a hotel. So hopefully we'll go to Serbia. I think I'm going to, have you been to Italy? There's a real nice, where is it? you ever been to this part of Italy, the Amalfi Coast in Italy, it's right on the water. It looks beautiful. I saw it in one of these 50 best places to go in Europe, the Amalfi Coast. So I checked the price of the flight, $700. Very affordable. And in October, there will be nobody there. So it should be a real good vacation. Everything feels sketchy in the market selections. Gold still manipulate. Well, it's not as manipulated. The derivatives aren't moving. That doesn't mean the gold's not moving. China's buying it. So picture it like this. Here's gold. Here's the COMEX. And over here is where they're buying it. So they're buying all this gold, China and Russia and India, but they're not buying it on COMEX. They're buying it over here. That's what's happening. But this is what keeps the score of the price. So they're keeping it with the derivatives, the paper, but the real physical gold and silver is being bought outside of COMEX. So the real price is not close, which is what I keep saying. It's not close to this $30 an ounce, $1,500, $2,500 an ounce. It's not close to it. That's the paper price manipulated for derivatives by JP Morgan to keep the price down, to keep you in stocks. That's the COMEX world. But we're breaking away from that as more people are buying outside of COMEX, especially silver. That price will just shoot up because COMEX won't be able to do it. COMEX can't handle delivery, and they're going elsewhere, which means there's got to be a physical price coming out of this very soon. Haven't been, would love that. Yeah, I was watching 50 best cities in Europe, or 50 small. It was like 50 small cities in Europe, and they're all like Hansel and Gretel. They're all like the little, Wicked Witch coming out, and Hansel and Gretel eating chocolate and everything. All the same little houses and churches and castles. But then they have some like in Italy and even in France and Spain, like right on the water, and it's like, wow, this is really cool. There's one place in Montenegro called Kotor, which is beautiful, but I don't know how expensive it is. Greece has Santorini, Germany, the Netherlands, Salzburg in Austria looks very pretty, and Andalusia in Spain looks very nice. So, and there's pretty current videos. It's not like 2001, and you're like, oh yeah, that's fine. But with Daria, I have no other place. It's either Turkey, which God knows what's going on with them, or Serbia, where with China we can go anywhere. So it's Italy, Spain, one of those two. My buddy that I work with took his girlfriend there last year after our Rome sales meeting. He loved it. Oh, so what I'm talking about? Okay. Sounds good then. The Amalfi Coast. Yeah, it's beautiful. Absolutely. And we'll go in October, so it'll be a little cool, but I like wearing sweatshirts, and we'll walk on the beach, and I can actually walk. I'll tell you, I've been taking that Celtic salt, and I take a little taste and drink it, and the cayenne pepper, and my feet feel fine. My back feels fine. I can walk. I can get up and walk. I'm like, wow. So I'm really happy. Yeah, the Celtic salt, 182 minerals, highly recommended. It's a little bit sweeter, but when you put it on, I put it on my eggs, I put it on my steaks, and it tastes great. It's like, wow, what's this flavor? I don't like regular salt. You should never have table salt. So when we go to Capitol Grill, I'm bringing my Celtic salt, and I'm gonna pour it on your steak, and you'll love it. It's very tasty. You might have to get a glass of wine. I can get a glass of wine. We'll do a toast, me and Jenna. I mean, I don't like too much alcohol because of the sugar, but yeah, I can. I can have on a birthday or Christmas. I will have some. So yeah, I'm looking forward. So that's good, and I can book that. I don't know what airport I fly in. It's like some other airport, and then I don't know how far I am from the airport to the city, but I think it'll be close. There's like 10 airports in Italy, but I don't want to go to Rome. It's too crowded. There's a lot of pickpockets. What am I going to see the Pope for? So it's like I don't want to be in that. That's why I'm looking at these little small cities where it's relaxing and get the buffet breakfast and do some shopping and then go on the beach. That's my idea of vacation. So we've got some sort of summit in St. Petersburg in September, and we got Kazan in Russia in October. They will announce gold-backed currency on the 22nd. When it goes into effect, I think it's going to be fairly quick because Russia needs it. China needs it. See, that's their answer. If they have gold, they can get out of their debt. The U.S. could get out of their debt if we had gold. We could just make gold 30,000 an ounce, buy enough that we pay off 37 trillion, and we'd be fine. We'd be done with it. But we're not smart enough to have any gold. And Mark McGuire's reason was, he said, well, there's been all these audit requests and nobody will fulfill it. If you have the gold and you're asked to prove it, you'd prove it, right? You wouldn't say, oh, no, you can't go in. Only somebody who's guilty of not having it would say you can't go in. So something like that. Rome is dirty. Yeah, it's a lot of pickpockets and, the Coliseum. I mean, okay, I can go to Caesars. I can go to Vegas and see the Coliseum there. And the Appian Way and Julius Caesar and David. Yeah, I can see all the boys in Vegas. I don't need to go to Rome. That's why I don't like those commercial cities. Like Paris, never been because I don't speak French, but we've never thought about it. We tend to go, we went to Lisbon and we went to Barcelona and I've been to Vienna, which was nice, and Geneva, which was nice, and Romania. What is it? Bucharest. That was very nice. I mean, the mafia's there. You just be careful. But I like that. I just hope, do I need a visa to go there? A European visa for $8 to travel there now, or am I okay? And then what do you use for, like, I know some ATMs rip you off. In Berlin, it was like I went to Deutsche Bank and they ripped me off. They charged me like $30. So I bought 200 euros with $200, or I bought $200 worth of euros, and it was like they charged me. It should have been like 100 should have bought me, I don't know, 100 and it cost me $130. I think I bought 100 euros. Should have cost me 109. Cost me 139. That's kind of how it worked out. Where's the? Oh, this is a service charge. Yeah, thanks, guys. That was an ATM in a Deutsche Bank, so be careful with those. I really don't know where everybody's nobody wants the US dollar. So really what I tend to do is use, if I need something, I just credit card it and debit card it. I don't use cash much. Most cabs take the credit cards. Most restaurants are going to take the credit card. So just use the credit cards. But I used to ATM the money and it used to be good in Vienna. It was like 10. So I took $100 and it cost me 110, so I got 100 euros and it cost me 110 in US, which was exactly the FX rate. Well, yeah, it used to be. Amsterdam was terrible because you needed money for the girls. They're not going to take credit cards. And so you'd go cash in like 500 American dollars and you'd go to these exchange banks and then, oh, well, it's 10%. And then when you tried to exchange it back, you were getting murdered on it. So that's why I use credit cards mostly. Absolutely. Old Town Geneva was cool. Same with Lisbon. Lisbon was okay. Old Town Geneva. Well, I don't know. Was there an Old Town? And I was in the center, and then we'd go down where the water is. Here, I think I can show you. So is this what you mean by Old Town Switzerland? This is downtown Geneva. This is like Lake Geneva and that. So is this what you mean? 'Cause that's where we hung out at night. It was kind of cool. Me skiing. Well, I didn't ski. I didn't want to break my leg and be stuck in Switzerland. And that was Austria, I think. Yeah, this is Austria at Christmas time. So it's pretty cool to travel there, but yeah, you got to be careful with the exchange. But if you book the hotel here and you book the air, that's most of your trip. Then it's just food and shopping. And I know Jenna wants her perfume and buying gifts for her kids and then getting just a little bit of souvenirs. And I get my I collect these little plates. So I got Switzerland here. And I got Barcelona here. So I got a Barcelona plate and a Swiss plate. I like the Swiss. I like the color of this. Very classy. Very Switzerland. Very money. So I'll have to get one of Italy. But no, it sounds now. Hopefully it's open all year. But I think it will be. It's just like it's a city, so it should be. I can't imagine they close. But we will do that. So anyway, understand that the real gold price is over here. The paper gold price is COMEX, and they don't meet, right? This price is here, and this price is here. And we're just waiting for discovery when they finally say, oh, yeah, silver is $500 an ounce. And it will happen because the demand for silver is too much, especially if you keep the price at $30, which is what the Chinese are doing. They're trying to hoard up silver, but eventually they're going to need the money from the silver because they're broke. Their economy is broke. I don't understand. They got all this gold and silver, and yet China has no money. They have no economy. Everybody's unemployed and broke, all because of Evergrande. It's crazy. Anyway, what else? Don't listen to this Kamala Harris crap. I'm going to lower taxes for the middle class. I'm going to, lower costs for this, that, and the other. I'm going to lower this cost and that. You can't. The market controls it. There's nothing she can do. She can't give. She can give tax cuts. That's fine, but she can't control prices, and there's no way she can. That's controlled by the market, and if you price fix it, everybody in it, as Luke would say. So Luke has to sell his tennis rackets at $300. Kamala is going to come out and say, oh, Luke, they're too expensive. You got to sell them for $100. Luke says, it cost me $2 to make them. I can't sell them for $100. I'm out of the business. Then there'll be nobody to sell tennis rackets because nobody can make it to sell it for the $100,000 for the $100 because it costs $200 to make a racket. Now, you do that and all this bullshit she wants to do, Well, there ain't going to be anybody selling it because you only are in business to make money. And if you can't make money because they're forcing the prices by the government instead of the free market, you're gone. Just like Toyota trying to sell their Camrys at $35,000. You can't do it. You can't. The market says, no, I'm only going to give you $25,000. That's kind of the other way. But and what she's trying to do is lower the price above their cost, right? It cost me 20. Camelo wants this. I'm going to cut costs to $10. You can only sell it for $10. Nobody's going to make it. You won't have that product anymore. Is she this stupid? Well, yeah, of course she is. So that's price fixing never works. Price control never works because nobody wants to sell at a loss because this is business and we don't do things where we lose money. So that's the big thing. So don't believe her ads. I can't wait till this election and stop hearing these stupid commercials. I'm muting half these Tubi and Pluto and YouTube. I'm muting all the commercials or NBC watching the game. I'll just mute it. It's like I can't watch it. Anyway, anything else? So football takes a lot more of my time because I have to learn the teams. So that's what I've been doing. I've been watching the 20-minute games on YouTube. I was just watching Washington State against Texas Tech. And the point is, how come you didn't score? What's going on? Does somebody have a good defense or the quarterback suck or what's going on? And I think that's where I learned how to judge quarterbacks because I watched so many games. A good quarterback throws touchdowns. A bad quarterback kicks field goals or fumbles or turns it over. Like the Michigan quarterback. He sucks. Plain and simple. Ohio State quarterback looks pretty good. He throws 7 touchdowns a game. So he looks pretty good. And that's where you base it on. So then when you get into the pros, you already know, this is that. And your boy Caleb, 95 yards, no touchdowns. I don't know if there was some picks or fumbles, but I'm sure he saw the Notre Dame jerseys of Tennessee and he got scared. He peed his pants. So anyway, so I study that and then I update the stats so I can grade the teams to know if it's a good team, bad team, high scoring or low scoring team. And then I can look at next week and go, well, who the hell is Texas State? Well, I know who Texas State is. Then I can bet them next week knowing, they're a high scoring team or they're a low scoring team. They got a good quarterback. Their quarterback sucks. We're going to bet against them or we'll bet under. So there's a lot of variables that I'm looking at. So especially early in the year, it takes my time. Once I kind of understand the team, then I don't need the time put into what I'm trying to do. With that, I have a class at 9:00. It's almost 8 for football. One of my guys wants to learn how to pick football games. So I'm doing an hour class on his Zoom. He's in California, so we start at 9, so it's 8. So I am going to run to the store and get something. Can't price fix gold for much longer. No, they can't. And you can't price fix anything. It only lasts a little bit, and then it blows up, and then the market takes over. That's what happens. Once sound money comes around again, this will be a better world. Well, that's why the world got like this, is the money printing and the JP Morgans printing. And then they sell you the load of goods. Well, you can print as much as you want. Nothing can happen. No, you can't do that. Something will happen. What the fuck are you talking about? And that's really the point of it is you can have you can't, the market limits you. Because now if you've printed all these US dollars that now are coming back home because nobody wants them, that's going to be massive inflation. But since nobody wants the dollar, when you have an auction, nobody wants the T-bills, guess what? That means it's worth zero because nobody wants it. There is no value. If there's a good, if it's my Canadian club and I put it on eBay and nobody bids on it, it's worth zero. Nobody wanted it. It's only worth something if somebody wants it, and nobody wants the dollar. They're all running to join BRICS. They'd rather be with Russia and China than us because we're such assholes. And they're sitting there going, "Yeah, I want to be with. I want to play on your team because you got gold on your team, and you can't fuck us over. So yeah, I'm going to play with you guys." And yes, of course, it'll be market. It'll go free market. They've been keeping gold was 37 an ounce, and they're trying to keep the price down, and now it's at 2,500. So to your point, Luke, the free market is buying it and buying it and buying it. Silver was $1.50 in 1971. It's 30, but we really know it's about 500. And that's how I view it. When I go buy silver at $30, I'm so happy because I know it's a $500 to $1,000 an ounce thing. And the same thing with gold. I know it's at least 10,000 an ounce. I can pick it up at 25, now 2,600. Thank you. And that's all I'm looking at. So here's a Maple Leaf 2,600. Our mantle card at 60,000. Notice how the mantle card never goes down. 2,600 for the Maple Leaf, 2,600 for the Cougaran. The silver, $37. And our Datejust Rolex, 22,000. So there's 800,000, 500,000, and here's one for 22,000. But there you go, 26 and 26. My guy was 26.51, but he didn't have any ounces, so he's struggling to get those in. I got the quarter ounce. He had a few quarter ounces, which I was happy. And to me, as long as I can find gold, I'm happy. I don't care what the price is. I got a quarter ounce. I added a quarter ounce to the family. That's why I tell the girls, "Hey, we got a new member of the family. Here's a quarter ounce or a half ounce of gold." And they're all excited. Jenna finally is realizing that how valuable gold is. And Daria always knew. So they're like, so when I do meet Jenna in Italy, I got to bring her some gold. I says, "What do you want?" I says, I'll buy you the fish oil pills. And said, "What else?" "Oh, bring gold." Now bring gold. Before it wasn't. She didn't quite get it. But that's what's going on. So I'm training the girls into gold, and I'm like, don't sell it now. I keep telling Jenna, don't sell it now. I'll tell you when to sell it. It's only 2,500. When you see a zero after the 2,500, then you may sell it. She's in the Ukraine. She will need it, but I don't know where. There was a jewelry store. I remember when I visited her that she probably needs to go to, or she goes to a pawn shop because that's probably what she has in her city. But I know she's going to get fucked there. The 2 ounces I bought were $26.33 each, and they were Eagles. Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah, I mean, are you buying any quarter ounces or tenth of an ounces or any of those? You might think about getting some like 8. Well, the quarter ounces are more. The quarter ounces are 7, let's say even 700. That's 2,800. But they come in a pin. Like I don't mind. I don't look at it like that. I bought 722. If I buy 4 of them, it's 2,850. Where the ounce is 26. I don't care about that because this is what I can afford is the 700. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I got to get some more pita and stuff by 9 o'clock because I'll go long on the guy at 9. So I will see you tomorrow. Again, football I'm doing in the morning, then I'm going to the pool. And my goal is to do this at 3 or 4, but I was really hungry, so I made dinner and came on about 2 hours ago. So I came on about 6. So I was a little late today, but anyway, had some other things I was doing. So take care. Buy your gold and silver as much, especially silver at 30 an ounce. Just buy it. Don't worry about the price. Just be happy you can still afford gold and silver. That's how you must look at it. Don't worry that silver's not. Why is it 1,000 an ounce? It's good. You can still buy it at 30. That's what you should look at. We know where it's headed to, so don't worry about the fact it's not going up yet. All right. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. www.teaserking.com if you want to check my email or sign up. We can do a class where I can teach you economics, just like I teach football. I think gold could go up to 10 times, silver 30 times once the revalues happen. Well, that'll be in October. I think they revalue gold at 7,500, 10,000, and then silver would be probably 500. Don't pay too much attention to this 10-to-1 stuff because they're not connected right now. When they get connected, it'll go to 10-to-1, but right now they're not connected. What gold does doesn't have any impact on silver. What the Fed does doesn't have any impact on either. There's only one thing that impacts the gold is the derivative market of Eddie Murphy. That's COMEX. That's the only thing that affects the price. Nothing else. So keep that in mind. Thank you, Luke, and I will update you on our trip. And I'm glad your friend went. So that sounds encouraging. Yeah, I saw the pictures. It's just beautiful. And October will be a good time to go. It'll be nice and quiet. I just prefer the peace and quiet. I don't like the big, robust, like you said, Rome or the Vatican and stand in line for 5 hours at the Louvre to see paintings. I could do that I'll go on Google and say Louvre paintings and see them all. All right, everybody, have a good day. And I will be back. By the way, my free play in college football was Northern Illinois plus 34, and they fucking win the game. I don't know if they were going to win it, but I loved the 34. So anyway, I'm hot there too. All right. Have a nice night. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Go gold, go silver.